All right, welcome to another Jewcast. I am Andrew Meyer here with Mark Lobliner and Alan Roberts, and today we have the Big Bear himself, maybe the funniest man on the planet, Owen Benjamin. Owen Benjamin, welcome to Jewcast.
Thanks for having me on Jewcast. I love it. Pumped to talk about Jews. Let's do it.
Unfortunately, we don't have many Jews on the. I don't know if our name's right. Andrew's the only real Jew here. I'm talking does the whole Friday, turns off oval. Now the Jews got really smart with that. They're wait a second. There's some ways we get around this whole no electricity thing, right?
Loophole.
That's the thing. Jews are a little too smart to have faith. They're no, hold on. There's a way around that rule.
Dude, Mormons do the same thing. Mormons
soaking.
Yeah, exactly. When I was in Salt Lake City, I was calling them America's Jews because they had a Bank of Zion, a Dead Sea. It's they're doing loopholes. Yeah, they say they're not allowed to drink coffee. They drink Monster Energy drink. And I'm I think the spirit of it you're not doing,
Hey, you know what? The Mormons can do what they want to do. They got Joseph Smith, man.
Dude, that guy was a G.
Yeah, he was assassinated.
But you are a G. If you can create your own religion, you're a G. I don't give a fuck with nobody. You may not be a good G, but that's seriously impressive fucking feat. No shit.
Yeah, have you guys seen that show on Netflix? The
American Primeval.
Yeah.
Dude, Brigham Young. Brigham Young was just slashing fools. That dude was wild. Hey, did you ever look up the War of Utah, where the Mormons literally defeated the U.S. government and took over Salt Lake City?
Yeah, dude, the history's insane. They're it's like watching Narcos. I'm the family that sells Tupperware. What the hell,
Dude, can you imagine when Biden's how are you going to take on the U.S. government? The Mormons are a word with you. And the U.S. government, they even did the fake news back then. They're yeah, we signed a treaty. I'm you got your ass kicked by a bunch of Mormons, dude. How embarrassing is that? The greatest government getting taken over by Mormons.
I know they're all named Jacob. They all have a trampoline.
Trampoline, that's a thing?
Oh, yeah, they all have trampolines. I like a lot of Mormons. They're super nice, but it's just funny how it's everybody's named Jacob. They have 40 kids named Jacob. It's hilarious.
I work with Mormons every day. One of my companies was acquired by a Mormon company, so I work with them every single day. And I love the Mormons. Very nice people. Even when they get mad, they don't get mad. They're they're mad, but they're very polite. And they're like Canadians, but not transgender.
Right. Yeah, they're icy. Well, they're like nice icy. That one beef company is killing it. My wife loves them. It's what's the name of that? Blue something? I can't remember. Her husband's dad started JetBlue, and they have this epic cattle ranch in Utah, and they're just doing awesome stuff. I can't remember.
Love the Mormons.
Yeah, Mormons are crushing.
Speaking of the Mormons and what they like to do, I think they're pretty big into homesteading, and I think people don't really know. You're super huge into homesteading. Can you tell the people that don't know?
Are you really? So am I.
What your setup is like, Owen?
Yeah, I got real into it. I mean, when COVID hit and I was I'm not wearing a mask in a grocery store, I just was okay, what do I have to do? And so now we have, year-round greenhouse. I live in North Idaho. I have cows, alpacas, goats, ducks, well water.
Ducks?
Well, what are those? They're the Peking ducks, but they have such comedic value that I don't even eat them. I eat their eggs, but they're so funny. I feel like I'm in an episode of Little Bear or something, It's I got the duck.
What was the process of digging the well? How difficult was that?
Oh, the well was here, but we put in a few more wells. But the well guys, talk about a good gig. If you get that well gear, they're 2 years out, they can charge whatever they want. They're the well guy is a good job. I want to get my kids involved in the well business.
No, this is Jewcast. We don't dig the well. We poison the well, Owen.
That's what we do.
Yeah, but I mean, they signed a contract.
You're right. You got a point. The contract's binding.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you want 4 out of 5 dentists say it's a sparkly smile, that's on you. Fluoride.
Oh, fluoride's wild. I hate to dive off into that, but even as a kid, I never understood that. I thought everybody brushed their teeth, but apparently I was wrong. And but they're like, in the amount you're given, it's too small. But if you're drinking every day, it doesn't, like, your body doesn't, it's going to build up in your system.
Yeah.
So
it's super poisonous.
Yeah, I can't. But people, dude, when RFK, because he's on the right now, which is crazy, that it's crazy enough that I'm on the right as a Jew who grew up in LA. That's weird right away. But like RFK is literally he's literally JFK. His ideals are same as JFK. As soon as RFK is like, hey, I think we should like look into getting rid of that. All of a sudden, Democrats like, no, we want polluted water. Keep putting it in there. We want toxicity in our water. You guys are Nazis taking the toxicity out of our water. By the way, that's our N-word. We need to license you. It's like the N-word pass. That is our N-word. Nobody can use
what is it?
Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
That's our N-word.
Yeah, and they all start with N. Isn't that weird?
It is. The N-word, and I can't even say it like Nazi. I can say Nazi. I have that N-word, but I don't have like an all-encompassing N-word pass. I need to find a black guy. Yeah.
In Hebrew, the letter nun, which would be the equivalent for N, it's literally the letter that would be for falling. So there's a special prayer that we say that has no letter N starting a sequence of words, because it's like a letter that means falling. So it's interesting that in English we have all these words also. The N is not the letter that you want.
Andrew,
yeah, dude, the N is a mystical letter. That's why I always want like Jew knowledge from you about like that shit like that. Because like Netflix, it's like just an N, like boom. And I'm like, there's something going on with that N, you know?
Nike. Hey, Andrew, isn't a derogatory term for dark-skinned people Schwarze in Yiddish?
Yeah. Not a nice
okay,
word.
my mom used to say that. Apparently, she was a raging racist.
I mean, it could just be a general word. She might not mean it bad. Like the word goyim means nations, but like you could also be like those filthy goyim. So
I hate goyims.
It depends how you use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I used to do a bit about how the word Jew is either a pejorative or not a pejorative based on your eyebrows. Where it's like if a guy says Jews versus Jews, like it's all right here.
Oh my God, it's so true too. That's the best.
Oh my God.
The best part about comedy, and I always say this, comedy that's true is the funniest. That's why fat jokes and bald jokes are always going to be funny.
It has to be true. It has to be. It's funny in my career because like when people think I'm going to be their like mercenary for their agenda, then I hit them and they're like, wait a minute. I'm like, dude, I hit everybody. Like I'm actually a craftsman of comedy. You know, it's like, I think Netflix just overpaid a lot of liberal comics and then it like changed the atmosphere of comedy, but I didn't change. Maybe I'm autistic or some shit, but I'm just like, I'm making fun of everyone. You know?
Going back into your comedy history, I wrote this question down ahead of time. You were canceled for saying people shouldn't mutilate their kids and then not allowed to perform at comedy clubs. Can you tell people that don't know how exactly did it go that you weren't allowed to perform at the clubs?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, I was at CAA, Principado Young. You know, I was just fresh off 3 years on a sitcom, and it's like I saw this guy named Jesse Thorne who was at NPR, and I'm just on Twitter, and I'm just like openly saying this is child abuse. You know, you don't have a sexuality at 5. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was more open-minded then than I am now. Once they wanted the kids, that's when I started seeing all kinds of stuff. But back then I was like, and the fact I wouldn't apologize or take the knee. In fact, it made me more aggressive. And they were just like, yeah, at all these college dates. And they were just like, yeah, we can't rep you anymore. Like, and it was weird. It was like everybody turned like that. It was like a swarm of bees or something. And I was never in this world for like attention or anything like that. Like my dad was literally a rhetoric professor who did opera and I played classical music. You know, I'm like, I'm actually like into the performance of art, of like comedy. It wasn't about, approve of me. So I was like, I just didn't buckle. And then it just kept going and going and going. And then, now I have goats and ducks and shit.
Well, you might not
That's
know
the
this
natural
about
progression.
Mark, but Mark on his own canceled a contract that he had with Kroger for a product that he had because they were going to force people, what was it, to wear masks or take the vaccine.
It was a vaccine mandate punishment. So they were surcharging those who didn't get the vaccine on their health insurance. And it was a nominal fee, but I was like, I just can't do business with these guys.
Good for
until
you, man.
they reverse
That's the
this.
deal. That's the
it
real
wasn't
leverage.
good for me at all. It didn't pan out. Like, I didn't make my money. No, it hurt me badly. I don't regret doing it, but I thought there's a bunch of people in the nutrition world who pretend to be conservatives and about that life, like freedom. Oh, freedom. And then like, I thought for sure other people would follow me and do the same thing. No one followed me. It's like, dude, I got your back. You step up to like
thing. That's so true. It was crazy to witness. Yeah. I was like, all right, everybody. And I'm like, but you texted me that you agreed, and they were all such cowards. That's crazy. That happened to you too.
Yeah, dude, it's like if you walk up to a street fight and you have 3 people with you and there's like 4 on the other side and you're like, dude, let's go fuck them up. They're like, yeah, let's go. And then you go, okay, guys, your mom's a slut. And then all of a sudden you look back and no one's behind you. Totally. That was me. Like nobody was there and I'm getting my ass kicked and everybody else just ducked out and did fucking band workouts on YouTube.
Yeah, but you got your honor though. I mean, that's I wouldn't change a thing now because I'm like, nope. Those people seem pretty miserable. A lot of those people.
Yeah, I mean, they're still rich, but they're miserable and rich.
Yeah, miserable and rich is even worse because when you're poor and miserable, you can at least think it's because of money.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
When you're rich and miserable, you're like, man, it's probably me. Shit.
You just lost at life.
Yeah.
And honestly, the people that didn't support you very likely went and got the jab just because they were supposed to and they wanted to do business and travel and all that stupid shit. So now, even though they're rich, Mark, they have to worry about having an experimental gene therapy produced by historically corrupt companies from a historically corrupt industry in them to fight a cold. It was like the weirdest overreaction like ever. It's a cold, people. Like the very second that they started announcing it, I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, why are we doing this? And then all of a sudden, everybody got super fucking upset. Like, I made a joke, like not joke. It's not funny, but I was like, the people that are dying right now, they're the people that do the dying, older people and fat people. It's not a joke, but it's just the truth, man. It was insane, the death threats and shit like that I got. And I'm like, can we not actually say real shit anymore? And that led to the death of kind of like, it's coming back alive now, but comedy almost died in 2020 and 2021. Like, you couldn't make fun of pronouns. You couldn't, which is the stupidest fucking thing ever. Like,
and it's the best joke.
Dude, I did the Caitlyn Jenner Woman of the Year. Hasn't been a woman for a full year, 6 years before Chappelle, or 5 years. And then the whole LGBT bit, that's why people say he stole that bit from me, because it was like a long bit about, it starts with the L's, and the L's are this, and then you get the G's, and the G's, and then the B's will fuck anybody. Like, that was all my bit. And so then he did it when it was safe. And I'm like, dude, it was like, while it was happening was the time to do it. It was the same with that COVID stuff. Like, right from the beginning, I was making fun of it, and I lost my last YouTube channel because of the misinformation, kicked off Airbnb, all that shit. And it was just like, because they wanted to get it so that I couldn't make a living. And I don't even know who they fucking is. It's like almost like a behavior, it's weird, dude. But anyway, it only made it forced me to become like a business oriented. I had to like make my own social media platform, make my own. And then now I'm in a stronger place. It backfires.
For people that don't know, like, can you tell them about Beartaria, what you've built, where people you go and perform, you have your own grounds where people can go and see you because you weren't allowed.
Yeah. Like right when COVID was starting, I was like, everyone throw in $400. I'll buy land, because my wife wouldn't let me have outside friends. She calls them outside friends over at our house. So I got it all started in the very beginning of COVID. So we'd all like have meetups, and I said no 10 people within 10 miles. I started giving like directives, like, because I thought it was going to get way worse. I didn't think they were going to let up. And so I'm like, setting up the bear trail, where it's like ability to barter, where your neighbors and you can help each other and all that stuff. And then it just kept going until like I taped my last 2 specials on on Bertaria land. We have Bertaria beef now it's so cool. We have like a festival and the meat people are eating was raised on the land that we're on.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah. And the beef aren't vaccinated and all that. And then we start our own social media and it's funny. It's the most censored social media, but we say it's for the good, the true, the beautiful. It's like no swearing, no politics. It's just like,
okay,
what are you building? What are you proud of? Like any interesting things happening. And it like changes your brain chemistry. When you're scrolling it, you're like, the world's a good place,
Yeah. We've talked about this a few times, like the focus on building versus a lot of the noticers that like, we're doing Jewcast. I think because a lot of people are noticing that it's all the Jews. So, okay, let's have some Jews talk about it's all the Jews. But I think you're a trailblazer in that you see the Jewish involvement in all sorts of things, but you don't say, the Jews control my life. You say, let's build things. Like, can you talk about
not only that, it's funny how you go all the way through the looking glass where you're like, they're providing a service for the noticer. And it's almost like they don't even admit it. I'm like, that's why one of my bits is I'm a proud Patreon supporter of Jacob Rothschild. I'm like, man, he does great work. But it's like, so you might start seeing trends. What happened to me is I was calling out like pedos in Hollywood and people were calling me anti-Semitic. And I was like, what? No, I'm talking about, and I just like list guys. And I was like, oh shit. And then I went through that phase of like, oh yeah, why can't you criticize this? Why can't you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And then our theme was, now what? Like, so like, now what? What are you going to do? Just get mad? And then you realize that there is no the Jews. I don't have to tell you guys that, but it's not like you're on a WhatsApp thing trying to trick the goy.
Oh, that's as far as you know.
No, I know you guys have some chats.
There are chats, and it's a global chat. Like us, Zuckerberg, we're all in on it.
You're all in, and then I did this sketch called "Hate Is Great," where it was like a hate group in Idaho, and everything that we're like mad at the Jews about, we're like, how do we really get them? And we just keep becoming better people. it's like they get us with debt, and it's like, oh, we got to get out of debt. And then we get sober, and then we like get a fan. It's like, oh, they're replacing us. We need to like have kids and have like a good relationship with them. And so at the end, it's these militia guys that are just better people, because that's kind of what I see. Because it's almost like I make fun of Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens more than anybody. I'm like, this is bullshit. It's almost like you're feeding poison to people,
Candace is a weird arc. Like that is because I've met Candace. I think she's lovely. I like her. But like sometimes I'm like, wow, this is like I'm cool. Like we on this show, all of us, every single one of us do not believe Israel should get funding. We're America first people. Like we are America. Like we don't live in Israel. We live here. But Candace went from like, yeah, we probably should look at Israel to like, you know what? The Jews are historically evil. And here's why. It's like, holy shit, that arc is crazy. Like,
yeah, it was a big arc.
Honestly, yeah, it's like the St. Louis arc, like straight through the roof. I mean, I watch her like progression and I'm like, it has to be due to clicks. She has to realize that the more she hated Jews, the more she blew up. Because if you want a big following on Twitter or X, simply say you don't like Jews. Like you will look at Jake Shields' growth since he went anti-Jew. Like just look at, and I like Jake. I like him, but I'm like, holy shit. Like he found out an algorithmic winner and it is the Jews. Like if you just simply say, man, if something happens, if there's like a shooting, like somehow the Jews did this, you're going to get following.
Because I think what it is they tap into, because I know Jake for definitely organic. Like I think Candace, I don't know. She sued someone for calling her the hard N. And like, as someone who loves that word, I'm just kidding. I'm just like, that's N. Weird. It's just weird. Her arc has been very strange. And then like marrying that British Lord guy that's like, they like went on one date and they got married. It just seems like very strange. But I think Jew as a liability shield is where all the energy is. It's not like the people, it's the liability shield. It's that question of like, why can I question things about the 100 Years War and Genghis Khan, but not Hitler and World War II? And it's like that simple, innocent thing is kind of the fuel for a lot of it, because
yes.
And it backfires because it kind of makes, because then I would like make fun of Hitler for a week, and then those guys got super pissed at me, and I called him like a lesbian and shit, said he had a fupa. And people were like, because what happens is when someone gets like crazy demonized, where you can talk about Che Guevara, Pol Pot, Stalin, whatever, but it's just Hitler, people smell bullshit. And then they go the other direction, where if you're like lied about or you're overly demonized, you must be this like awesome guy. And that's the issue, I think, that's going on right now. It's almost like rebounding, where it's like, oh, there's so many lies, so it must be the opposite. And I'm like, no, there's just a bunch of killers run governments, in my opinion. It's not like, and lies are weird. It's tough to even pin down what a lie is and like who's doing it and what the motivation is. That's why I got so into homesteading. I like doing local shit.
Yeah.
This is why I told Owen the first time we talked in like 2018, like, I don't want to be a sacred cow. Like, I don't want there to be some shield where you can't talk about Jews. Everything should be able to be discussed, able to be made fun of. And everything that Owen makes fun of, it's funny. Like, a lot of people,
I don't have hate. Like, it really is true. If you have hate in your heart, you can't do a good impression of somebody, So it's like, dude, this is the weirdest thought. There's so much anti-Israel shit now that like the comic in me wants to be like pro-Israel.
Like, that'd be genius.
But again, it's like, I'm just like, because the comic's supposed to like teeter-totter, you're supposed to be like, okay, if everyone's running this way, you do the bit going that way. It's kind of our job. You're not supposed to be like in the mass of the thing. And it's just like, because it doesn't, logically speaking, there's all kinds of shit going on in the world all the time. And it's just odd when people only care about certain things. It's weird.
Absolutely.
Speaking about comedians that only care about one thing and stay in the mass, has Dave Smith ever told a funny joke, Owen?
Well, I mean, Dave ghosted me. I mean, we used to be like buddies, and then, he just kind of ghosted me, and then was doing all this shit that I do all these Jew jokes and I get all this heat, and I'm doing it funny. And if you go back and watch those streams, they're quite humorous. And then a lot of these guys start doing it, and then, it's weird, but they have like a little more like venom to it. It's like, for example, like him interviewing Douglas Murray or that debate, like there was no bits. Like I was so pissed about it, not in a political way. I'm like, make fun of him. Like he's a gay. Like,
gay.
I'm like, call him a ween wizard. It's like, be a comedian, like be funny. It's interesting how many people are now just saying they're comedians to kind of like have a liability shield. And that's when it's funny, because the Jew identity can have that liability shield, but then a lot of the people most critical are now doing liability shields. And I'm like, oh, you just want to like own the bank,
I think Dave was trying to show. I think Dave was trying to show his political side. I actually did see he was live at Zany's out in Nashville. It's a 20-minute drive from my house. Tickets are dirt cheap. My wife and I went and saw him. He's actually quite a funny comedian. I mean, we were laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, and I laugh at everything though, so take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I mean, he's a good comedian. I just think that he was trying to have a debate and be taken as more than a comedian. I think he's trying to get out of that comedian kind, even though his name's comedian Dave Smith. Like I think that he's trying to break that mold, and especially with the aspirations as a libertarian candidate for president, I think he's trying to show that he can be topical and not funny and have serious debates. I think that's what his angle was on that. If I'm
totally. And he did make a lot of good points. I mean, Douglas Murray was being like a pompous Brit. I went on it's funny. I went on like a British rant. I didn't even go on a Jew rant. I was like, these fucking redcoats. Anyway, but yeah, there's something called jester's privilege, where it's like, and I've wrestled with it too. Same with the trans kid thing and a few other issues that I've tackled. It's like, you can't really do both. You can't really Because like one of the criticisms people would have of Jews is like, are you white or are you Jewish? Where you take one hat off when you're talking to Black Lives Matter, you know, and it's like, you can't really do it as a comedian. And that's why I did one debate about like the Trinity, and it was like, it sucked. Like it was just caused all these problems. And I'm like making fun of the Trinity kind of, and people just are like, I'm like, all right, I can't do a serious debate like I am. And that it helped my identity a lot. I'm just like, I'm a comedian. Like, unless there's a goal of funny, like I should just avoid it, you know, because it gets too confusing.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, I can imagine.
Who do you think is the least funny comic that gets accolades?
Oh, dude, I think most of them are terrible now. I mean, my favorite of all time was Norm Macdonald.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I still listen to his, I mean, it's like, and I was a huge SNL fan growing up too, like Phil Hartman and all those guys. I know I sound like an old guy at this point, but like Bert Kreischer, it's like, I don't know. I'm just not feeling this whole crop.
No.
Well,
yeah, they're not funny.
I recently heard somebody put Kevin Hart in the same category as fucking George Carlin. And if they would have been in my physical presence, there would have been a beatdown.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't do that.
You're not allowed to say
Crazy.
that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm freedom of speech. I'm a freedom of speech guy, but that's going to catch you an ass with. You know what I mean? Like,
my first set I ever did in college when I was 19 was opening for Kevin Hart. He was like a college act, and he's super small, like shockingly small.
yeah, it's like,
You know.
he's like baby size. Like,
Yeah, like it's offensive. Like I'm just like,
yeah.
did your parents not love you? Like you didn't get any milk?
I didn't laugh at. So I did go to Kevin Hart's show too. He was doing a warm up act for his Netflix special, and I happened to be in California at the time, and it wasn't very funny. Like maybe it's some humor stuff. Like I don't resonate with some humor. I was bored. I'm like, and I'm not, no knock to Kevin Hart. I think acting wise, he's great.
Yeah.
As an actor in comedies, I think he's amazing. As a stand-up comedian, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
I got a guy like a Tim Dillon rants will make me laugh sometimes.
Yeah. I thought Rogan's had a couple bangers. I think Rogan, when he did the anti-vegan thing and the bees, that was one of the best bits I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
that was
I
so
watching
good.
Rogan in like 05 and he crushed. You know, sometimes I think when you get that rich and famous, though, it's like you almost can't feel the pain anymore, and it makes you not be able to grow. There's another guy that's funny. I always forget his freaking name though. He's like clean. He's got a Netflix special. He's like a clean dude. I don't remember his name.
Well, the new thing is crowd interactions. That Matt Rife guy made a little lane for himself too. Just going out in the audience and talking to people. Just that quick-witted like humor where you don't actually have a bit. You have to make it up on the spot.
Yeah, they like authentic. Like right now, I would say the zeitgeist is dying for authentic. And so that's why that's crushing, because you can't fake it. Because so much is fake now that if you just see it like a real moment, people love that shit.
Yep. Agreed.
I like that Owen picks up on themes. Like he sees something funny that nobody's hitting, and then he just hits it for a week straight.
Nonstop.
Is there a theme that you've done recently that was like your favorite, Owen?
Oh, what's a recent theme? I just did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for a couple days, but I mean, the craziest one was the India one, the Jeet week. I mean, that was nuts. I mean, the government was basically declaring, like, wanted me arrested and shit. And I was just like making fun of like their food, the bobbling, you know, but then I'll do Canada. Like I'll do a Canada week, and no, it's fine. I'll be even more brutal. And it just doesn't seem like it triggers that. And I'm almost like a masseuse, like where the pain is where you got to hit. It's like, if you can't take the joke, then there's a problem. Like you got to be able to get through that, you know? Right. It's like a release.
That's big facts. You know, speaking of getting through the pain and all that, you know, we were talking a little earlier about the noticers, and the thing that you and I both noticed is they have a super victim complex. And I remember when you did your week talking about, you know, these type of people, like when you call out their victim complex, they cried out. They cried out as they striked you.
They attack me more than you guys. They call me a Jew, and I have no Jew protection either. I'm like the worst of both worlds. Like they're like, oh, Owen Ben Jew man. And I'm like, why? Because I told you to have kids. Like, they're like, oh, we're being replaced. I'm like, yeah, I have 4 kids. Like, fucking use your dick and make kids. And they're like, oh, says the Jew. I'm like, dude, I'm 6'8". Like, okay, then everyone's a Jew then. Now everyone's a Jew. And
Jews
then
don't grow that tall.
Then I started to like, I'm like, yeah, good. I tell everyone I want protection. I want to be the Jew now. And they're like, that isn't what you're supposed to do. I'm like, no, I'm in. I want that.
Well, I think there's a way. Isn't there a way to convert, Andrew, that we could do? Like,
I got an eighth. I got an eighth in there.
Oh,
my
dad's
we'll mom.
100% if you want, Owen. We want you on the team. But
the race draft.
Yeah, the racial draft. First pick, Owen Benjamin.
We'll take him.
We want a funny giant.
It's him or Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, I got Lenny. I mean, Lenny's solid. I mean, he'd be good in the race draft, but yeah, it's like a lot of Fuentes' people. Like, they get so mad when you just say like, yeah, because I sometimes do that because like I played sports. I'm like always been around actual men. Like, I'm like, the influencer world's so weird where they'll like say a problem and I'll say like a solution or what to do, and they get like really, really mad. You know, like they're like, oh, the food's poison. I'm like, dude, check out what you can do with a window and a tray. And they're just like,
right,
you fucking Jew. And I'm like, dude.
There was a great line in White Men Can't Jump. Rosie Perez, she tells Woody Harrelson, who's like her boyfriend in the movie, it's like, I want a glass of water. He's like, okay, let me go get you a glass of water. She's like, no, you don't understand.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want a glass of water. I just want to complain to you. You know, and it's like, that's the noticers. That they just want to complain. They want a black pill. They want to be upset. And, you know, back in the day when Nick was calling you a Jew for being a man and like providing solutions, not just black people pilling and leading people to nowhere, he was calling you a Jew. So I showed you that like Fuentes is a historically Sephardic Jewish name. And when you called that out, like, I let Nick know that I do that. He goes, what? You're saying I'm a Jew? He was so upset. And he blocked me and he freaked out. And it's like,
yeah. And he's like goes on dates with dudes in cat ears and shit. Oh yeah. Fuentes week was hilarious. Because he looks exactly like one of the guys from the Village People, and I just can't. It's like exact.
You'd be upset, dude. You'd be upset too if you were a 27-year-old virgin. Like, I'd have a lot of pent-up frustration.
I'll tell you. And then I realized
he admitted that on fucking camera. Like, bro.
Oh, dude, he's admitted a lot, like rape fantasies of a guy. Like, dude, I have like dossier. Like when I do a week, I go in. I was a history major. Like, I know how to research primary source documents. And yeah, but then I realized the psychology though is whoever you blame is like your master. And that's when I started being like, yeah, I'm your Jew then. Because they're like, oh, you're the one holding me back. Like you're the reason I'm poor and gay or whatever. I'm like, then that means I'm your master. Like I'm your Jew then.
You're the reason I'm poor and gay.
That's why I started being like, yeah, I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew then because I identify as a master class. And if everybody's like, you're why I can't wear my pants are tight. And I'm like, okay, yes. Because yeah, like whoever, if you're blaming, you're losing authority, you know, like, and any businessman knows that if you're like the boss, you got to accept authority from responsibility. Like all authority comes from responsibility. So it's like, if all the noticers keep saying it's the Jews, like they're psychologically making people think that they're in charge. And I'm like, yeah, it's great.
That'd be a good place to be. I wish Jews had as much power and pull. You know, I'd be leveraging my lineage a lot more if they did, but it really doesn't. Unfortunately, it just doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, you got a cousin and a business that like, that's the thing. That's what I tried to do with Bertaria. I'm like, social capital is like, you know, same with the Mormons. It's like, look at what the Jews do that makes them powerful and just do that. It's not like you can't. It's like have like, you know, friends and other groups and cousins here and you work together and you meet up once a week. And I'm like, that's the whole deal.
It's networking.
Exactly.
It's nepotism like Jews do. I mean, Jewish communities, they look out for each other. I think old people should do that. Whatever. If you want to be like a certain group, me, I don't care. You know, American's American. I don't care if you're Christian, totally. Catholic, black, white. Look, America is my Jew. so to speak. Like I don't care about any other country. People are like, well, yeah. What about Israel? I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't give them shit either. Well, what about the UK? Yeah, fuck them. I don't care. Like, America is America, and that's the beauty of America, is that we should look at each other as fellow Americans. But people want to play this divisive bullshit, and it's driven by people like Fuentes. You want to know why? Because it makes them money. That's why hate is a valuable tool in capitalism. You have race people like Al Sharpton, like Jesse Jackson, who've become multimillionaires, and they don't even live by the sword. Jesse Jackson's a womanizer. Like, these people have been caught. And even the Christian, the evangelicals. Who is the guy? I mean, he just got caught like a few years ago. We had a guy. He owned a mega church who lived actually in my neighborhood, who his church got busted for some crazy shit. Like, there's a lot of money to be made when you play those games.
Yeah, that's the Pharisee, in my opinion. Like, that's the victim consciousness, rules for thee, not for me, where it's like, and that's why I was raised in a very corrupt Catholic town. So that's why I know it can't be
there's not really, you don't even, you can just say Catholic town and we all know it's very
yeah. No, but that's what I mean. I mean, it was horrifying. Like, you could do movies about it that are scary. You know, that's why like, one demographic being blamed for the world's problems isn't factually accurate. So and I know that from my childhood. So it's like, that's why that victim consciousness, they sell that to people so that they don't have to improve, because it's easier, you know, where you're like, it's not you, it's this other group. And because of that, you know, you can just keep stuff in your face and lying to your wife, you know, not being a part of any solutions. And people pay big money to be in that under the dragon's wing of victim. And it's like, and I won't ever do that. Like, people get these like victim narratives, and then I try, like, I'll do a week smashing it, because I'm like, that's an opioid. Like, that's a spiritual fentanyl, you know?
Absolutely.
I always find it amazing how Jewish people do. Like, I mean, it goes through cycles. Like, we go through a cycle of like, you can't say anything against Jewish people because anti-Semitism, or Jews run the world, we hate them all. It's like this cycle, but the Catholic Church just keeps clicking on along after, you know, hundreds of years of pedophilia and rape and, you know, like all sorts of shit. Like, and I mean, Catholics, I'm sorry, like, it's not your belief, it's the church. The church is fucking corrupt to the goddamn core. Your belief is fine. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to believe in God, do that. I'm an atheist, but you do that. But I can tell you that the Catholic Church is corrupt as fuck. And like, we had a priest,
our Monsignor used to bring in pedophiles. Like, and that's why I'm like, when people will deny that. Well, I understand why people say this, but they're like, the public school system has more pedos. Like, I get it, but I'm like, dude, I'm telling you right now, we had like 9 priests, like 7 like raped kids. Wow. So it's like, and they would go after kids without dads, and it was just insane. And so, like, when someone denies that reality, I'm not saying that there isn't pedo problems everywhere or whatever, but it's like, I just kind of suspect they're full of shit. And then that also, like, Only Us, like the Special Boy stuff. That's why, as a comic, I just rip on that shit, because you don't want to fall in those traps.
And the funny thing is that probably those 7 priests, they didn't go to jail. They just got reassigned to a different parish.
Yeah, and it was paid for by the 10% in the basket. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
That is wild. So basically, we should blame the Catholics. I'm down with that.
That's the thing. It's all about blaming yourself. It's like, one of my buddies is he's like, are you a victim or a victor? I like those V's. There's probably some good Jew magic in the letter V or something that you know about.
Andrew would know.
Yes, the letter Vav, very powerful letter.
Oh my
God. Powerful letter.
Is it powerful enough to allow you to eat a cheeseburger?
Hey, Vav, and another. You don't even to spell out the name of God. You need to have a good reason. But yes, it's in the name of God. So yes, the V, the Vav, very powerful. Yes, Jew magic.
So no ends, all V's.
That's right. No ends, all V's.
Yeah, that's why I try to accept the responsibility. My life always goes so much better when I do that. You know, it's like, I'm not getting as much support. And then you just think like, okay, how can I serve my listeners better? How can I try harder? And then it always goes better, and you have like a great week, you know, versus like, oh, everyone's gay now, you know. It just doesn't work.
Speaking of gay, and you alluded to this earlier, talking about Nick Fuentes looking like somebody from the Village People. Did Nick and Ian Carroll not make it clear enough to people that they're gay with their giant handlebar mustaches, Owen?
Well, I wanted Ian Carroll for the stash, the Freddie Mercury stash. Yeah, and it's like, and people get so confused by me. They're like, "Wait a minute, I thought you make fun of Jews. Like, aren't these your people in your movement?" I'm like, dude, I'm not in any movement. I'm a comedian, and it's like I've had to explain that so many times to people. I'm like, I just like look at Ian Carroll. He's got a big gay mustache, and he's got a little twinkle in his eye, and he looks like he sips on the spear. And then they're like,
Sips on the spear.
yeah. And so just one thing I've been trying to do better on Twitter is I write like you can't not see I'm joking, where it's like I do all these alliterated things where I'm like, yeah, he likes to hammer hug. He does a spunk sprelunk, and that way it's like obviously funny. So if you take it seriously, like you're crazy,
I'm still fucked up on sips on the spear.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not ready.
Where did
I was
Ian
not ready,
Carroll,
but I am stealing the fuck out of that.
where did Ian Carroll come from? All of a sudden, he's like huge. I don't even know who this guy is. Where did he come from? Out of nowhere, he got dropped down from the heavens above to hate Jews.
Yeah. It's almost like there's like anti-Semite grifting things now where it's like, yeah, the same thing. Like me as a truther, I would look at that and be like, where the hell did he come from? Like, what's his backstory? Like, how is he allowed to do this? If it's so taboo, why is he not banned from anything?
Doesn't anybody have a LinkedIn? Like, I have a LinkedIn. It tells you exactly where I've been. Why doesn't everybody have a LinkedIn? Like, these people have no LinkedIns.
I was probably kicked off LinkedIn and I didn't even realize it.
So I actually do have LinkedIn because I own businesses and honestly like suppliers and stuff. I communicate with them on there. But yeah, LinkedIn's it's become somehow they found a way to make LinkedIn political. I went on there the other day. I'm like, y'all just don't want to get hired at all, do you?
Yeah.
I don't say anything on LinkedIn other than like business strategy stuff. But like people go in there and they're like, did you know that Israel's doing this? I'm like, bro, it's fucking LinkedIn. Like, this is not X. They have platforms for that.
Right.
This is for businesses to communicate and hire people and talk about what you do for a living and how you can make their business more efficient. It's not about your thoughts on the fucking war in Gaza.
They want free. They want free social clout. I think that's why people. Because I'm like you. I've seen so many cowards that I'm like, they don't care. So why are they doing this? I think it's just like, it's like they want something for nothing. It's like fiat social clout. It's so fascinating. Where if they say that, they think someone will be like, "Oh, I'm going to hire you," even though you don't have the credentials because you get it. And that's why it's. Because if you look at the world, like Coca-Cola has hit squads in fucking Guatemala, it's like they don't care. You know what I mean?
No,
like
but
yeah.
Yeah. The thing about businesses is they don't even want leftist crazy people.
No,
they want people
now
who,
it's swinging hard.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, it's going far right. And Saturday Night Live did a whole skit on males adopting babies, which was
great.
It was actually one of the funniest skits I've seen. Other than the news guys, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Like when they go in, the white guy tells as a black guy, and the black guy writes it for him. Shit, he's really
good guys too. I know those guys. They're like legit good guys.
They're good comedians. But I look at when companies are trying to hire, and I speak from a guy who hires people, dude, we don't want any of that shit. Like I have this story during like when BLM was doing their thing in our warehouse, in our company, we had a customer service. We had an intern who was obviously an affluent white girl, and she was actually BLM. She would go to little protests and everything. And a lot of our company, this is the Midwest. These are like blue collar people. We're really MAGA. Like nobody cared. Everybody got along because once they walked in that door, the company culture took over and everybody got along. They still keep in contact to this day, even though she left for, obviously it was an internship. She got a job, right? So I look at it this way. When you're looking to hire someone for a company, I don't want a crazy right. I don't want a crazy left. Totally. I don't want someone to come in for an interview with January 6th tattooed on their chest.
Right, totally.
At the same time, I don't want someone wearing a BLM hat. I want someone who just wants to fucking work and just wants to shut the fuck up and get along with his coworkers. You couldn't tell if you walked into our in Costa Mesa. I spend time there every like 2-3 weeks, man. Nobody knows what everybody's political affiliation is. Nobody cares because they're just working and getting along. And I think if the country operated like the companies I'm associated with operate, just because we hire good people who don't do that, I think we'll be in a great spot. But unfortunately, everybody thinks that every spot is a spot to discuss politics. It's wild how LinkedIn has become a cesspool for political bullshit. It's wild.
Yeah. And I think assimilation requires work. I think like in the past, Irish, Italian, Black, whatever, if you all work together, there's a way for men to like start seeing bonds. Whereas if you don't have that, that's why you get so much insanity. And it's like, because I was doing tree work once in Georgia and, backwoods Georgia, where they don't like anyone from New York State. And me and my brother are from New York State. And it's like, after a few weeks, this one dude was like, New York's more like the East though, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it ain't the North, it's like East. Because he's just trying to cognitively allow himself to like me. and he can't like the North. So, and I was thinking about it's why, because I work hard, because I'm just like hauling lumber. I got his back. Like, it's like, that's usually what gives people that bond. Whereas then later, if you find out you have political differences, it's not a big deal because you have this foundation of bond through work, like honor culture.
That makes a lot of sense. It does. You got to kind of earn respect.
Yeah.
You got to kind of earn that. And I think that's a great thing. Like, but, like politics is this, again, I've been in the workforce since, 97. So I've seen a lot of shit. I've been in corporate America. I've owned my own businesses. I've done it all, but it never bled over. I couldn't tell you how one person voted when I worked at American Media between 99 and 2004. I have no fucking idea how those people voted. I have no idea. We never talked about it. We talk about sports. We talk about family.
It wasn't bad back then either. I did a Volkswagen commercial where I was on the street asking if someone was going to vote for Obama or Romney or something. I don't even remember, but it was like no one cared. It was like not like it is now.
You're right. What do you think caused that?
Obama.
Fair answer.
I think like his whole thing was race baiting. Like his whole thing was like, was to use his race to get people to do all that shit, like all that communist shit. I think that era really electrified it,
The 90s were amazing. Yeah. Oh my God. The 90s were so good. I don't think people understand how awesome the 90s were. Like, especially in California, it was the best. It was low cost of living, plenty of opportunity. And then in 96, I think it was 94 or 96, that's when Pete Wilson lost because of Proposition 187. And I'm like, and that's when it went to shit because the Latin vote used to be all Republican because abortion. Catholics, believe it or not, guys, I know we've said shit about Catholics. Catholics are not a fan of killing babies. They just don't like it. I don't know why.
People,
That's because the priest.
Oh God, Alan!
Really?
Oh my!
Really? Well, there goes our Catholic viewership.
I grew up Catholic. They can come at me all they want. Like,
no, and a lot of Catholics like being made fun of. It's like kind of like the culture is you just talk shit.
Well, yeah, and then you just go and repent on Sunday.
Yeah.
Look at the Pope. Look at the Pope. If you can't make fun of what that motherfucker wears, that gay ass fucking like Liberace shit.
Yeah, he's got a dick on his head. Yeah.
He's got a dick on his head. Like, I mean, like, if you can't make fun of that shit, I don't care. Fuck you, motherfuckers. If you can't take me saying that the Pope looks like a pedophile because he has a dick on his head, I don't give a shit.
So the only one who get away with dicks on their bodies is Brock Lesnar. He gets literally a phallic shape pointing to his mouth, and you can't say anything to him because he will destroy you. Like no one can say.
I'm going to say for the record, in case I ever do bump into him in real life, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's what that looked like.
Oh God, that guy would destroy anybody. Like what a monster.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, but the Pope isn't Brock Lesnar is where I was going.
It's true. I think he's like a pimp. He's got his robe. He gets 10%. He's got a gold chain, rings. You got to kiss the ring.
Bitches.
Yeah, they literally call it Pope. Popa means daddy. You know, it's like, hey, daddy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's
We're,
so
we're,
funny.
we're talking about 90s vibes though in California, Mark. And like, I just think I've said Obama is one of the worst presidents, if not the worst. Like the reigniting like the race war in America. Like he did that on purpose. And I think in the 90s, we were talking with Jason Whitlock last week. Like it just wasn't like that. There wasn't this like animus that wasn't in the cultural vibe. And I wish that we could get back to that. That would be very nice.
Yeah, and he did Smith Mundt Act where you can like do completely fake news stories and shit. You know, like, yeah, Obama did a lot of really horrible cultural things. And at the time in 08, I thought he was going to like help race relations or some shit, you know? And it's like,
Everybody did.
yeah. And it was just the exact opposite because he always does rhetorical questions like, how hard is it to just not, you know, be a racist? You know, that's not a claim. You can't like sue him. It's like saying
awesome.
questions. Yeah. He's like,
You've
I got a
done that
wife.
before.
She's got a big old cock. That's how you know he's a fabrication. He talks like he's from Iowa. He's like, so here I am. My name's Barack Obama. This is how you talk when you're trying to make people think that you're from a farm. But he's from Hawaii. So he's gotten speech class. He's gotten like coached to talk a way to get people to like him, which makes him deceptive.
No, he literally followed around this actor that was in one of the new Supermans. He played a general. Like this guy came out and was like, yeah, Obama patterned his speech pattern after me. Like it's crazy. He literally was trained to try and talk like this trained actor to try and sound like he has gravitas. Like he's
you sound like you've seen stuff and you can stand firm. You're one of those guys that just knows about what snakes not to touch. You know, it's bullshit. He's just this crazy homo too, allegedly.
Oh, yeah. Luke.
I heard he was with Jennifer Aniston. Did you see that one?
PR for sure. I was at Luke Redkowski's house. He has a big sign that says the guy who smoked crack with Obama, like was signed by the guy. You know, the guy that
Sinclair. Yeah, his name was Larry Sinclair.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Obama and him did very gay things together, allegedly.
Like, yeah, so I smoked some crack, sucked some cock. That's what I did. I sipped on a spirit. Me and Larry sipped on spirit.
When is this going to be allowed on SNL? That's what I want to know. That's you know, all the right wingers out there doing stuff. It's incredible. There's no like SNL with like Owen Benjamin and Sam Hyde and Toby Turner, like the actual funny people. Like it's incredible that we still haven't built anything like that.
Yeah, too many. I think it threatens a lot of because you got to, as we talked about in the very beginning, it has to be true to be funny, and too many people are not accepting of that yet. They will though, you know, if there's enough economic squeezing, like lies will get you killed.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna build. We're gonna get there. And you know, Owen, I've been trying to tell you for like months and months. You always ask like, "Hey, what are the good shows?" Because you know all the TV shows these days are pretty disgusting. So you have to like mine for the gold. You got to really search for it. You ask all the time, "What are the good shows?" I have tried to tell you like 5 times. The best TV show ever from the 90s. The show called Nero Wolf. It's a detective show. I know you're a detective.
Nero Wolf.
Nero Wolf. He's a detective, and in the very first episode, the bad guy is the FBI. So I know you'll like this, and everybody watching at home, you can watch it on YouTube for free. Nero Wolf from the 90s. The first episode is called The Doorbell Rang. And it's like, I just want people to tap into good consciousness. You know, whether that's books or TV or whatever. It's like we're in a cultural drought, and people got to find the gold from the 90s or the rare people on social media like Owen that are authentic to like have some soul.
I agree.
No, we definitely need that. Oh, well, I guess we're at our time, guys. I looked down. Holy shit. Well, dude, we appreciate you being on. So how can people support you and spend money with you? And because again, the more money people spend with you, the more likely we are to have awesome guests.
That's true.
So where can they buy your stuff and follow you and all that good stuff?
Well, owenbenjamin.com. My last special is called Must Be Nice. You can buy it there. Totally independent. Shot at Bertari. It looks really solid. And then you can join the social media app, which is Beartaria Times, wherever you get your apps. It's just $15 for the whole year. So that's pretty solid.
Wow.
And then, you can write letters or anything at P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. And I'm at Owen Benjamin on Twitter. So I'm there a lot too. So check that out. I live stream every day on Rumble. So Owen Benjamin, one word. If you search it, I'm there.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I'm like tired from laughing. That's how bad this is.
Yeah, that's why it's all about laughing. Yeah, laughter is good for people too. It's good for people's morale. It's good for their health. You know.
Oh, absolutely. It actually increases your lifespan. That's actually data on that. Believe it or not, happy people live longer.
True story. Boost morale. It was great Jewing out with you guys.
Great. You're always welcome to our meeting is tomorrow morning, obviously before nightfall because the Shabbat.
Of course.
So we'll send you an invite.
I love it. Thanks, guys. Peace.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next week on the Jewcast. Peace out, guys.